It happened. You wake up before sunrise, no alarm, no coffee, no phone. You have 1 hour to eat, dress, and get to work. If you're late, your boss doesn't send a message. He shows up. This was every morning for billions of people, for thousands of years. And the strangest part, their days looked a lot like yours. Across every ancient civilization, one thing was constant. The day was structured by the sun, not by clocks, not by schedules. By light. When it rose, you worked. When it set, you stopped. Ancient people didn't think of time in hours. They thought in tasks. Plant this, grind that, carry water, feed the fire. There was no free time. There was done work and undone work. Egypt had 3 parts: morning, midday, afternoon. Rome had 12 hours, but those hours changed size with the seasons. In summer, a Roman hour was longer. In winter, shorter. Time bent to fit the sun, not the other way around. When cities grew, markets opened at specific hours. Temples had scheduled prayers. Courts had fixed times. Suddenly, being late meant something. The day became a shared contract. Ancient civilizations didn't discover time, they invented agreement. The idea that everyone in a city would live by the same rhythm, that was the real invention. Forget the feasts. Forget the roasted boars and golden cups. That was for kings, maybe once a year for everyone else, bread, every single day. In ancient Egypt, workers received bread as wages, not coins. Bread. The more skilled you were, the more loaves you got. An architect on a pyramid project might earn 10 loaves a day. A laborer got 3. In Greece, the average citizen ate twice a day. Morning, a small piece of bread dipped in olive oil. Evening, vegetables, olives, sometimes fish. Meat was rare, reserved for festivals. In Rome, the state started feeding its citizens directly. The grain dole annona gave free wheat to hundreds of thousands of Romans every month. Not charity, a political tool. A hungry city revolts, a fed city votes. Food became identity. Romans looked down on people who didn't eat wheat. Greeks considered olive oil a mark of civilization. Mesopotamians measured wealth in grain. What you ate told people exactly who you were. Not much has changed. Most people in the ancient world were not soldiers, were not priests, were not kings. They were workers, and they worked harder than most people alive today can imagine. In Mesopotamia, the first cities ran on specialized labor. Potters, weavers, farmers, scribes, merchants. Each person had a role. Each role had a place. The city was a machine, every person a part. The pyramids weren't built by slaves. Modern archaeology proved it. They were built by rotating teams of paid workers, organized like a modern construction company. They had job titles, they had supervisors, they had sick leave. One papyrus records absences from work on the pyramids. Reasons listed: sick, brewing beer, scorpion sting, embalming his mother. 3,500 years ago, same excuses. Farmers woke before sunrise, worked until they couldn't see. Slept exhausted, did it again. Seasons didn't wait, floods didn't wait, harvest didn't wait. Ancient people didn't work to live, they lived to work. The difference between them and us isn't ambition, it's that they had no choice. The average ancient home had no furniture, not because they were poor, because the floor was the furniture. You sat on it, slept on it, ate on it. In Mesopotamia, homes were made of mud brick, one room for everything. Cooking, sleeping, storage. The roof was flat. In summer, the family slept up there to catch whatever breeze existed. In Rome, most people didn't live in houses. They lived in insulae apartment buildings. Some were 6, 7 stories tall. The higher your floor, the cheaper the rent, the worse the conditions. Top floors had no running water. You carried it up from the street. Top floors had no kitchen. You cooked on a brazier, which is why Roman insulae burned constantly. Fire was the leading cause of death in the city of Rome. Greeks organized homes around a central courtyard. Everything faced inward. The street was chaos. The courtyard was peace. The home was a world inside a world. Everything we call home comfort is a modern invention. The ancient home wasn't a place to relax. It was a place to survive the night. In ancient Rome, a father could legally decide whether a newborn child would live. He picked it up, the child was family. If he set it down and walked away, the child was abandoned. This happened regularly. Childhood in the ancient world was short. In Rome, children started learning trades by age 7. In Egypt, boys followed their fathers to work. In Sparta, boys left their families at age 7 to begin military training. Archaeology has found dolls in Egyptian tombs, toy animals in Greek ruins, miniature chariots in Mesopotamia. Children played with toys remarkably similar to today's. Formal education existed, but only for some. In Athens, boys from wealthy families learned reading, writing, music, and athletics. But for most children, poor children, enslaved children, education was work. Watching, doing, surviving. Childhood as a protected stage of life is a modern concept. For most of human history, you were small and then you were useful. The average ancient person was dead by 35. Not because life was violent, because a bad tooth could kill you. A cut on your foot could kill you. Childbirth killed 1 in every 3 women. Medicine and religion were the same thing. You were sick because the gods were angry. You got better because the gods forgave you. The treatment, prayers, offerings, rituals, but also actual medicine. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, written around 1600 BC, describes 48 cases of injury and illness, with diagnosis, with treatment, with prognosis, triage. Written 3,600 years ago. Roman medicine reached millions. Military surgeons performed battlefield operations, cities built sewers and aqueducts, clean water reduced disease. Public health as a concept, the idea that a city should keep its people healthy, was a Roman invention. Ancient medicine wasn't primitive. It was the beginning of the only thing that actually works. Observation, evidence, reason. The Romans had a word, odium. It means leisure, rest, reflection, play. They considered it as important as work. They were right. Rome built the Colosseum to hold 80,000 people. Not for sport, for politics. The emperor appeared, the crowd cheered or didn't. The emperor noticed. Gladiatorial games were free. Bread was free. Panem et circenses. Bread and circuses. Keep people fed and entertained, and they won't ask where the money went. In Greece, it was the theater. Tragedy, comedy, performed at festivals, attended by the entire city, rich and poor, free and enslaved, for 3 days straight, from sunrise to sunset. Baths became the social center of Roman life, not just for washing, for talking, gambling, reading, arguing. The bathhouse was the internet of the ancient world where information spread, deals were made, and reputations were built or destroyed. Ancient leisure wasn't escape from life. It was life. The things they did for fun, gathering, competing, discussing, watching, were the same things that held their societies together. Ancient cities at night were dangerous. No streetlights, no police. After dark, the streets belonged to whoever was brave enough or desperate enough to be out there. Most people weren't. Darkness was absolute. Modern people have never experienced true darkness. Even in a blackout, there's a screen somewhere. Ancient darkness was total, heavy, disorienting. Fire was everything. Oil, lamps, candles made of tallow, torches in wealthy homes. Light was expensive. The poor went to bed when the sun set. The wealthy could afford a few more hours. Rome banned wheeled vehicles during the day to control traffic, so delivery carts ran at night. The city that seemed quiet at midnight was actually full of noise, wooden wheels on stone streets, merchants unloading goods, animals pulling carts. Night became a time for the private self, prayer, thought, worry, dreams that people believed were messages. Ancient people took dreams seriously, as warnings, as prophecies, as conversations with gods. Sleep wasn't just rest, it was information. They woke before sunrise, worked until dark, ate simple food, lived in small spaces, worried about their children, got sick and hoped to recover, looked for ways to laugh, and fell asleep afraid of the dark 4,000 years ago. Or yesterday, the details changed. The people didn't. It happened. With all of them, it's happening now.